Hi folks, today we're looking at a recent series of purchases I made on what appear to be extremely good replicas of the Oakley X Metal line. And I'm just going to go through these frames that I picked up to kind of talk about them a little bit here. So before we get started on all these sets, the first pair I wanted to show you was the first pair that you see here front and center. Uh, these uh, these were purchased to see exactly the difference between a replica and a copy of the Oakley Joliet. These are with ruby lenses, so it's really hard to tell what the difference is. But just to let you know, uh, this this is the real set of Oakley Joliets or Juliets. I don't know how they're pronounced. And this is a several $100 pair of frames. I don't know. They call it X metal. I don't know if what they use is titanium, uh, but it seems like a really robust set of eyeglasses that I have in my collection. And here to the left we see the replicas. Now, the first thing that struck me about the replicas that I've been seeing on eBay, and I probably missed the boat if these were available for a while, I don't know, but they're new to me, is that the replicas are, and this sounds crazy, but they're made out of a metal material. Uh, you know, 10, 15 years ago, when Joliets were really, really popular, well, you couldn't get metal replicas anywhere, not that I could find. And so we were relegated. You probably want to keep your nice pair in your collection so it doesn't get damaged or scratched. And a lot of people will choose to wear replicas since they really like the design, but they'd prefer not to damage the more expensive set. And of course, as everyone knows, Oakley only made certain uh, dozens or hundreds of thousands of these frames and lenses, and they're just not available anymore. You can't really buy them brand new, at least some of the designs. So when I got these replicas, I thought it was interesting because they're made out of metal. And I don't think it's the same metal. They are a tad bit heavier. I'm sure that if you put them on a scale, I believe it's something like 50 grams heavier than the actual frames. But rest assured that the weight difference is negligible. You can barely even register the weight difference when you hold them in your hands. And so when we look at, for example, these two pairs, uh, I can tell you I've examined these very carefully, and they're 99% identical. The rubber pieces are appear to be the same material with the same etchings. The nose pads are slightly different, but we're talking just a minor difference that most people will not really notice or maybe complain about. And the frame material again is a little bit heavier on the replicas here. The lenses appear identical. Obviously, it's it's not something I want to test, but Oakley does indicate that their lenses are incredibly impact resistant. And honestly, replacing the original set of lenses would be out of the question, so I'm not going to test that. But the lenses, when you put them on, they seem the same. They're both polarized. They produce the same amount of light stoppage, and for all intents and purposes, the lenses are almost a perfect replica. Whether they have the same impact resistance, I don't know, but the other difference you find between all of the sets of replicas and the originals is that the original nose pieces are connected to the rest of the frame via what appear to be like, type of a ratchet metal rivet or something. And so this allows Oakley to put rubber material between the connecting pieces so that they move a little bit, and it's not too much of a rigid connection. So that's kind of a nice feature of the Oakleys, but there is a reality check that a lot of people don't talk about, which is that these rivets that are in the original Oakleys, no matter how expensive they are, they will eventually, if you wear these glasses a lot, they will become looser and looser, maybe not up to the point of breakage if you take care of them, but it is a point of concern of the Oakleys. You know, it's the way that the frames were designed, and as you put these glasses on over and take them off, you expand and contract them. And so these rivets will eventually become looser and looser. Now you can send them into Oakley and they'll replace the rivets. So that's just something to be aware of. Now, what are rivets in the original? In all the replicas, they have what amount to little screws. Sorry, too many frames here. What amount to little screws, and those screws allow for the interconnection of the center nose bridge with the rest of the frame, and you see that for all of the replica types. So I got this first two pair, and I said, wow, this is really, really accurate. So, you know, I've had other Oakley X metals in the past, but I've sold them. For example, I used to have a pair of pennies, and, you know, perhaps not a good idea to sell them because they're worth so much now. But I said, you know, I'm never really going to go out and buy a pair of pennies at full price. They're, you know, $2,000-$3,000 for original pennies now instead of the $300-$400 that they were originally, because they're not made anymore. They're collector's items, and they're, quite frankly, almost impossible to find. So I said, you know, let me just get, you know, as many as I can of these and see how they stack up. So the first ones I got here were the Romeos, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, this is an incredible replica of the Romeos. The lenses and the frames, I do not have the originals, but I've held them in my hand before and studied them. And these replicas are probably one of the best replicas of all the X metals I've seen. And the reason why is there's no screws in this metal design that holds the frames to the nose bridge. It's all kind of one industrial design, and the screw placements allow this to be a much firmer connecting piece. And so this Romeo set, the whole design of it, and you can find them if you search for them. This is probably one of the better replicas because you're not really concerned about you know, this nose bridge concern that a lot of people with the replicas talk about. So then we move forward, and this is another type. I can't recall the name of these, and I was able to pick these up in almost a polished look. It's kind of tough to tell. And then I also got them in a, I guess, what is it called? Like a pewter. It's almost like a very dark brown or dark gray frame material with fire lenses. And these don't have rivets that come out of the front, but you can see the screws in the back. So they do have screws, but again, it's very well put together. And I would say, you know, all of these are extremely good replicas. The Romeos and this, for some reason, I can't remember the name of these, but these are also incredibly good. So I went one step further, and I got two pairs of the pennies, one with fire lenses and one with the jade blue lenses. And I've actually, like I said, I've owned a pair of pennies before. And aside from those center screws, which again, not a big deal, that is a difference, and they're slightly, just a hair heavier than the originals. These are of a strong metal material, perhaps not the same metal material as the original Oakleys, but rest assured, this is an incredible replica with the ruby lenses and with the jade greenish bluish lenses. Even the temple connections are springy, just like the original pennies. So I'd say if you have a larger head, although the penny lenses are small, the temple pieces stretch out open, so it's very easy to put this pair on without feeling like you're opening up the frame. And then, of course, I got I'm not sure what these are called. The lenses of these, they're called XX or something. I don't know if that's Joliet XX, but this has a slightly larger temple connection piece here. And then they were available in multicolor, like a goldish and a polished. So these are also very, very high quality in their finish. And for people that have maybe, I don't know, like a larger face, the size of this lens is maybe a third larger than the original Joliets. And this other pair of lens here, this is also an original set. It's polished with like a yellowish goldish lens finish. And as you can see, these are true rivets. This is an original set of Oakleys as well. So I have two in this entire set. I have these are originals and these are originals, and all these others are replicas. But rest assured, it's actually amazing that I guess China is able to create these replicas in a detail that is absolutely incredible. I don't know how they do it. I guess mass production allows them to reach certain price points that are just something that maybe wasn't available before. But really, really cool sets of glassware, and I just wanted to talk about those in a small video. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.